Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allison, and if you're new here, welcome to the 10th annual Hunger Games. So today I am dressed up as my version of a Hunger Games tribute, Katniss braid and all. Unfortunately, she told me she couldn't loan me the Mockingjay pin. It's kind of rude, but we'll give it to her since she is our Mockingjay. But we are flashing all the way back to 64 years in the past, where we are going to find out Cornelius Snow's origin story, I guess. Now, when it was first announced that there was going to be a new Hunger Games book, I was really inclined to maybe a Finnick origin story or a Mags origin story or something like that, or even like the first annual Hunger Games, or which would tie into like the war more, because we know some of the war story, not a whole ton, but I really wanted to know more. Well, when Snow was announced as our main character for this new book, you can tell my anger. I was a little angry. I was at work. I was ranting and raving in the aisles of the books, and my manager actually told me, he was like, you know, I actually want to be President Snow, and I was like, I gotta watch out for you then if we ever have a Hunger Games. But I wanted to talk about my Crackpot theories because I myself am a Hunger Games, like, it's probably one of my favorite book series. It's so well written. I just reread it in preparation for this new book coming out, and I wanted to talk about my theories because not only is it here, I have stuff on the back too. Now, a lot of this is going to tie into the original Hunger Games books, so if you have not read the original books, you've only seen the movies, one, go read the books, because they are, if you love the movies, you'll love the books even more because they're so good. They're so good. But it's going to be talking a lot about the original books and some of the stuff, mostly in the Hunger Games and in Catching Fire, I'm going to be referencing, but I would highly suggest going to read those so you don't get spoiled. But let's just get on into my Crackpot theories because there are a lot and they all kind of weave together. So this book takes place in the 10th annual Hunger Games, with Cornelius Snow being a mentor to a tribute. And this tribute that he has to mentor is a girl from District 12. Now, I'm slightly confused because I don't understand like the Hunger Games back then, because from what we know, there's 2 tributes in the Hunger Games from each district. But we are only referenced to the girl in the synopsis. Does that mean there's another mentor maybe that mentors the boy and he's just mentoring the girl? I'm not sure, but they only mention District 12's girl, and we don't know if she is dead or alive at the end of the book. I did read the excerpt of this book, and there are 2 main points that I took from it. One, this is a project before graduating the academy. So Cornelius Snow is about to graduate this academy that the capital has. So I'm assuming it's kind of like a college school thing. And he has this project, and he is chosen to do this mentorship for the Hunger Games because to him, the Hunger Games is like all great because he doesn't have to go into it. He just gets to sit back and watch the entertainment. You know, people killing each other. Really fun. And then the second thing we know is we get to meet the creator of the Hunger Games. So the person who chose to make this sick, twisted game of children killing each other, we get to meet this guy. And his name is Dean Casa Highbottom. Sounds like a grand guy, you know, would love to sit around a fire and swap war stories with him. Not. But he is in the excerpt as well. He's divvying out these tributes to the mentors. And from what I can gather, this is like a huge thing for the Snow family because they're kind of in some deep waters. I don't exactly know what the deep waters is, but in the synopsis it does say that the Snow family isn't in the best place that they should be. So this is kind of the last hurrah that Cornelius can give to saving the Snow name. And we also know that there is a romantic relationship that goes on between President Snow and this D12 tribute. So, with that being said, I have two ways that this could go. One, this girl dies in the arena, and he hates Katniss so much because he reminds her of this District 12 tribute. Or this D12 tribute wins the Hunger Games, and some other shenanigans go down, and she realizes that President Snow is an absolute crazy person that, you know, sniffs roses and has blood in his mouth. And what else does he do? He always smells like roses. That's all I can remember whenever I think of President Snow. That he just incessantly smells like he bathed in a pool of just rose oil is what I imagine. And it makes me sick to my stomach. But that is the two ways this book could end. And I'll be interested to see which way Suzanne Collins takes it. I have a feeling that it's going to delve into the way of her not dying. And I'll get into that in a minute. The second thing is the title. So it's called The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. And I kind of deconstructed that. So the ballad part, obviously it goes with the songbirds part. And the songbirds are mockingjays. Mockingjays are referenced in the Hunger Games a lot as these songbirds. Madge, in I think Catching Fire, I don't know the exact quote, but Madge says, well, mockingjays aren't warbirds, they're songbirds. So she references them as these non-fighting birds. So that leads me into, it has a lot to do with the Mockingjay, and the Mockingjay is on the cover, but I'm getting ahead of myself. And then the snakes. I think that the snake is obviously President Snow, Cornelius Snow. Keep wanting to just call him President Snow because that's who we know. Cornelius Snow is obviously a snake. We all know that. But I also think it references the Capitol because we know the Capitol, a lot of the people there are just kind of stupid, but the higher ups are very aware of what they're doing. They're very aware that, especially when we get to the 74th and 75th annual Hunger Games, that they're not really doing this to honor the war anymore. You know, it's not what they're doing. They're doing it to kind of realize who in the districts and what districts specifically are in risk of rebelling, is what I take away from the Hunger Games, especially down the lines. But I do think that the snakes can be referenced to both Snow and the Capitol. Then we get into the cover. So obviously we have the snake, which is Capitol or Snow, and then the songbird, which is a mockingjay. Sound familiar to us? We love our Mockingjay references, and I think the Mockingjay is going to be a very vital part of this book. So before I get into the Mockingjay crackpot theory, I want to talk about our victors of District 12. So we know that there has been 4 victors of District 12. It is referenced in one of the books. I can't remember which one it is. I think it is Catching Fire. I read it somewhere and then I looked it up. There's been 4 victors. Katniss, Peeta, Haymitch, and an unknown one. So I'm thinking this unknown one is this D12 girl. But where is she in all of this? Because she's just not anywhere. And it's not the age thing it's not like she died of old age, which, I mean, she could have, but I don't think that that necessarily is true. Because Mags won the 11th annual Hunger Games, so we know that she could be alive. Do I think she's alive, or do I think that something happened? I think that she might have been a little bit of a spark of rebellion originally, or... Now this just came to mind, and I don't know why this just came to my mind, but could she be Coin? I can't remember exactly in Mockingjay if President Coin says that she has been born and raised in District 13 and she was there for the bombing, or if she came to District 13 and then the bombing happened. If someone knows that answer, let me know down below, because I can't remember that, but I would love to know, because now that I'm looking at it, the timeline for Coin lines up. And Coin has such a hatred that is way more deep-rooted than just like Katniss or, you know, everyone else that is fighting for this rebellion. There's something underlying of Coin, and I always thought it was her want for power. Now I'm not so sure. And, you know, I didn't think of this, and it just came to mind. So let me know down below if you think that's possible, that Coin could possibly be this District 12 girl. Because I think that would be a really interesting plot twist, that we already know this District 12 girl, which we could. We could just know this District 12 girl and not know it. You know what I mean? Like, they just never mention her, and she's just floating around somewhere in the book. But this gets into my, like, main crackpot theory that doesn't involve Coin. And that is, our D12 girl in this book is the originator of the Mockingjay pin. Now, let me get into this because I have a lot of notes for this. And I have a lot of backing up that I feel like this could be possible. But knowing me, it's not going to be what it is. But, you know, it's fun to theorize. The Mockingjay pin originated from District 12, obviously. And this is why Snow comments on it when he sees Katniss wearing it. At the end of the Hunger Games, there's that iconic scene in the movie, but it's also in the book, where he comments on the pin. I don't remember if it's in the first or the second book. It's in one of them, but he comments on her Mockingjay pin. She said, "Thank you, it was a gift from my district." And there's just that moment that it's like, he recognizes it. He knows that pin. Like, he knows it like the back of his hand. And so then it got me thinking, where did the pin come from? Well, it came from Madge, who is the mayor's daughter. Madge gives it to Katniss when she goes into her first Hunger Games. And Madge tells Katniss that it was her aunt's pin, but it's been in the family for a very long time, she thinks. And that's in Catching Fire. And also in Catching Fire, we find out that Madge's aunt went into the 50th annual Hunger Games and was Katniss's mom's best friend and died in that quarter quell. After that, they got rid of her songbird, which was a canary. And then in Catching Fire again, they reference the aunt as well. Her name's Maisley Donner. And Finnick asked Katniss what a canary is. And we had that reference originally when Katniss's mom says that the songbird, the canary, was given to her after Maisley died in the Hunger Games. Katniss says, "I don't want to talk about dying songbirds. They bring up thoughts of my father and Rue's death and Maisley Donner's death." So why are we getting all these references to Maisley Donner? There has to be something that is brewing there. And then obviously in the title, it's Songbird. They reference the Mockingjay so much about the songbird. So my theory is that our D12 girl in this book had the Mockingjay pin originally. And it got passed down through the family. Because why would Maisley, a daughter of parents who own a sweet shop, have a full gold Mockingjay pin? You know, because like, people in District 12 aren't wasteful. The parents want to just buy her a gold, like, carroted Mockingjay pin for nothing. So that had to have been passed down in the family. I think it connects back to Madge and that Mockingjay pin that she gives to Katniss. I think that this new D12 tribute girl is going to be a ancestor of Madge, and I think that'd be really interesting because I really liked Madge's character. R.I.P. Madge in the films, because that's ridiculous. She should have been in there. They just gave away Gale's happy ending, so it's fine. Also, the Mockingjay pin isn't a symbol of rebellion until Katniss and Peeta. It's just a pin. It's just a bird at that point, and they put them in the arena. So in Katniss's arena, there were Mockingjays. In Maisley Donner's arena, there were also songbirds or Mockingjays. I feel like that's interesting because in all the other Hunger Games they watch or talk about, Katniss never says that there's Mockingjays in any of them, or that Mockingjays are really popular. because they're kind of like this myth, or like they don't exist really. They exist in Rue's district and Katniss's district, but they are kind of this thing that the Capitol just doesn't talk about because they're a product of an experiment gone wrong, pretty much. That makes me think that this tribute girl is going to end up alive. She is going to be the person who originally had the Mockingjay pin, and get this, the Mockingjay pin was a gift from President Snow. Yeah. Who else in the district would have the money to buy a gold carat Mockingjay pin? Snow. So I think that Snow falls in love with this D12 girl. He gives her this Mockingjay pin as a sign of his admiration, or kind of to help her get through the Hunger Games. She comes out alive. She passes this Mockingjay pin down the line, which ends up going to Katniss. But because of all of this, and because Snow is power hungry and he's evil in all the best ways, that sounds weird, but like, you know, he's a good villain. This D12 girl is not going to end up alive in our time era, or is she someone that we know? So that's like my big crackpot theory. That's my big idea of how this Hunger Games book is going to go. I am going to do a full review on it because I'm just so excited. I actually am buying the ebook because my book will not get to my house until the 21st, and I cannot wait that long. I need the book at midnight so I can read it all the way through at night. Let me know down below if you are excited about this new Hunger Games book, because I sure am, as you can tell. And also let me know if you have any other crackpot theories about this book, or if you agree with some of mine or found any of them interesting, because I'd love to know. And I will see you next time in Wonderland, loves. Bye!